let's just cut right to the chase.
Get into it, girl. Dive right on.
This is the moment. The episode that everybody has been thirsting after.
Oh!
That was a good one.
That was an intrusive thought. Happening.
Amazing.
Oh, Lord.
No, it's amazing.
Unfiltered Mackenzie. You love it.
I love it. Okay, maybe not thirsting after, but this is definitely one that we have been wanting to record for a long time, and we were waiting for a moment that we could pull all of the necessary information.
There's a lot for this one, and we wanted to make sure that we attacked it properly.
Yes, exactly. So, this is going to be the first episode in our 2-part series covering the Salem Witch Trials.
Woo! Woo! The witch is burning at the stake. Woo! Another intrusive thought. Guys.
Well, actually, I have some tea for you. I won't tell it in this episode, but actually, nobody got burned at the stake.
It's fake?
It's fake news.
You guys heard it here first. Fake news. Details and talk. We have fake news.
Fake news. Today I'm wearing my Gypsy Water perfume.
I'm wearing Bath and Body Works perfume. I didn't know we had to wear
perfume. Just to get in the witchy vibe.
To be honest, to get into the witchy vibe, my Animal Crossing character is decked out in a mage's outfit. She has a little witch hat, she has a little witch wardrobe, she has mage boots, and it's also purple, so we love.
We love that.
We love it.
Witchy vibes all around.
All around.
Well, let's get into it. Okay. Welcome to Tea, Tales, and Talks, where we talk about spooky things, drink some tea, and try not to get too scared. I'm Sarah, I'll be your host.
And I'm Mackenzie, I'll be your co-host.
For these strange and occasionally unsettling tales. In this episode, we're starting our mini-series on the Salem Witch Trials, so grab a witchy cup and join us for this horrific, magical, and mind-boggling case. Yeah.
I'm so excited for this.
Also, I think that on our spooky story submissions forms, by the way, guys, check that out if you have any stories to send to us. We want to hear them. I accidentally did a typo in the little description that says mind boogling instead of mind boggling.
I like boogling.
We like boggling and boogling.
We boogle and boggle. Girls, ladies, gents, ghosts.
Send us your boogling stories.
Please.
All of them.
I'm surprised it didn't correct it or notify you about that.
Yeah.
Google's pretty good.
Okay, so this has been a long time coming for sure, but perfection takes time, and we wanted to make a really interesting, accurate, and dare I say fun-ish, spooky, witchy cover of these trials. Since it is so infamous, and since there is so much information, we wanted to get all of our ducks neatly in a row for this one. And we really wanted to make this a big deal because this year is actually the 333rd year anniversary of the Salem Witch Trials.
That's crazy, girl.
Oh, yeah.
333.
333. Three's everywhere.
Good number.
It's a good number. It's a bad thing that happened.
Yeah. But we can learn from our mistakes.
We can, hopefully.
Maybe.
Well, yeah.
We'll leave it at that.
We'll leave it at that. I think that we chose a perfect time to do this series. The 333 years after the trials. This is episode 20. I don't know if that has any significance, but anyways.
Another good number.
The vibes are witchy, so.
Experts in numerology, let us know.
What this means.
What it means. Okay. I found my line, guys. Exactly. This is a big one, so I wanted to do it right. We'll be splitting this up into 2 parts so we can cover as much as humanly possible. So this first part of the series, we will be covering some of the backstory of the witchcraft in the colonial American time and a step-by-step of the events and situations that led up to one of the largest and most well-known witch trials ever.
That's right. The next episode will dive into the trials themselves and touch on the various impacts the Salem Witch Trials have had not only on, quote, witches, but aspects of the witchy realm, on women, on accusations, on mob mentality, and stigmas around things that are not seen as mainstream or normal, air quotes. But for now, join us if you will, in the late 1600s in what was then the Massachusetts Bay Colony. We love Massachusetts. We talk about it every other episode, apparently.
Very frequently. This
Very
is why
frequently.
people might think we're from America. We are
We're
Canadians. But we will be going international for some more ghost stories coming up.
For sure.
Don't you worry.
In the late 1690s, the Boston colony was bustling with around 7,000 residents. Doesn't seem like a lot, but for that time, that's a lot.
Yeah. Like for now, it's like that's barely anybody. But
At that time,
big population.
yes. And for new settlers, new colonists, colonialists, colonizers, that was a lot at that time. Most of the houses in this area at this time were made with brick or wood and often finished with the famous style of wood chipboard on the exteriors. So that's like wooden planks on the outside of the like solid wood houses.
Like shiplap.
Yeah.
Horizontal.
Horizontal, yeah. In general, the Boston colony has been extremely significant in history for the United States. This probably has to do with it being a bay/port location, and because it was one of the very first colonies. So we kind of talked about this in our first episode. We talked about this a little bit in our Winchester episode, that the east coast of the United States was what was colonized first before they moved into the west. If you haven't listened to those episodes, we encourage you to.
We give you permission to pause and then come back to
And
us.
then come back.
Thank you.
Now let's go to Salem, Massachusetts. Now, Salem itself was at the time a community in the colony. The way that Salem was set up was it was split into two main areas, so into Salem Town and Salem Village. The town was located where the port was. This was the heart of the working and business culture, the trading hub of Salem, if you will. The population here was around 1,200 people. Here is where all of the shops, markets, churches, meeting houses, the courthouse was here, as well as the jail. There were taverns and pubs, and some homes that belonged to the merchants and artisans and probably the more elite individuals in that community.
This is like the main downtown, kind of
Yeah.
where everything's happening.
Yes. This is the downtown. So Salem Town is where modern day Salem sits today.
Okay.
But Salem Village is where the town Danvers is located now.
Okay.
Now, Salem Village was a much more rural and farming oriented community. Still part of the same Salem community, but a little bit further into the country, if you will. The village consisted mostly of farms and fields. There was a church and a meeting house and a parsonage for Reverend Paris at the time. He will come into this later. There was a blacksmith and a carpenter's and a miller. Basically all that was needed for a farming community to thrive. They had what they needed and that was it. And because they were not in the location to be trading, they were not at the bay, they weren't.
No ports.
No, and there wasn't a lot of newcomers and a lot of like outsiders, if that makes sense. And like, we'll get into it. Now, in order to truly understand Salem, we have to understand the isolation, the strict religious culture, and the underlying tensions bubbling for a long time. Puritanism! Woo! Exclamation mark.
Sorry if I just blew your eardrums.
Sorry about that.
She's loud.
The Puritans were Protestants who broke away from the Church of England, and they believed that life should be governed completely by the Bible, 100% by the book. They wanted to build a city on a hill, which was a perfect Christian society in their eyes.
Classic. Yeah, so Puritanism was based on a few key principles at this time: religious authority and covenant theology. So Puritans believed society was bound by a covenant with God. Both individuals and the community were expected to live in strict obedience to the scripture. Their government and laws were designed to enforce moral behavior based on the Bible. Moral and social discipline. This emphasized hard work, self-discipline, and piety as an outward sign of inner faith. The idea of the city upon the hill was coined by John Winthrop, meant New England should serve as a model Christian society for the world. Predestination and salvation beliefs follow the Calvinist theology, guys, follows Calvinist theology. Puritans believe in the predestination so that God had already chosen who would be saved, the elect. A holy life and success in one's calling were seen as a possible sign of being among the elect, though salvation itself could not be earned.
So the TLDR, too long didn't read, whatever. They were strict in religious order, moral discipline, and in short, being God's chosen ones for going to heaven. Mm-hmm. They believed that the devil was not just symbolic, but an actual real being that was actively working to tempt and corrupt God's people, aka them. So I did read somewhere that at this time, the Puritans kind of thought that this place was New Israel, which is kind of interesting. It's like a little bit of a link to, it's not, they don't follow the Judaism religion, but the same idea about being the chosen people. Then we enter in witchcraft. We talk about witches and witchcraft a lot here, but let's get into the basics. At this time, which we've spoken about before, was sort of towards the end of the witch hysteria period. In general, what was considered to be witchcraft was basically any extensive knowledge of herbs and healing. We talked about this also being a culture difference, mainly between the hyper-religious beliefs of the Puritans and Protestants mostly, at that point in time. Particularly in Salem, there were also servants and slaves that were, bless you.
Thank you. Sorry. I don't know if you guys heard that sneeze.
That were taken and brought over to the New World, and that in of itself brings a totally unfamiliar culture and traditions to a new group of people. The Puritans, who were very strict and very conservative. Mm-hmm. So in Salem in the late 1600s, Puritanism was the overarching implemented religion, and for them, witchcraft was the devil's tool. Witches weren't people who practiced folk magic. They were believed to be in an actual pact with Satan and used his powers to harm others.
Obviously.
Of course.
Massachusetts law were fairly intertwined with religion, so the law reflected this. In 1641, the Body of Liberties listed witchcraft as a capital crime. Execution for witches were not only legal, they were expected. Now, in a time in history where everyday life was not easy, and now in a location that was historically new for settlers in the area, citizens were already in a constant state of fear. They faced harsh winters, it would often destroy their crops, epidemics of illness or disease killed the young and the weak, and war between the new settlers and indigenous tribes were always going on.
But to the Puritans, these weren't random occurrences. These were signs of God's punishment, or even worse, the work of the devil. The Puritans were taking the Bible at face value, and the specific version in which it says, "Thou must not suffer a witch to live." So, because they are the chosen people, according to themselves, it must be them who carries out God's will, right?
Well, Sarah, you know, a man also or woman that hath a familiar spirit or that is a wizard shall surely be put to death. They shall stone them with stones, their blood shall be upon them. In Exodus 22:18.
Yeah, so basically this is extreme religious righteousness, I would want to say. This paired with the English Witchcraft Act of 1604, which was basically making practicing witchcraft punishable by death. And because the Puritans were coming over from England, it was already off to a bad start. Mm-hmm. As soon as they stepped foot on the land. I do want to note that a big influence on the people was also their very own reverends, ministers, and preachers. In the case of the Salem Witch Trials, 2 men had a very large impact. Okay, not only 2 men, but these were kind of
some of the bigger influences.
Some of the bigger influences on witchcraft, which were Increase Mather and his son Cotton Mather. Yes, those are their real names.
Interesting.
Increase was a leading Puritan minister and acted as the 6th president of Harvard College from 1685 to 1701. His son, Cotton, was a highly influential Puritan minister, author, and scholar in Boston. He published hundreds of works on theology, history, science, and medicine, and he was the first American-born individual elected to the Royal Society of London. Both of them perpetuated the ideas that witches were very real and a very huge active threat. They taught that witches were in a pact with the devil to basically corrupt and overthrow the, quote, godly communities. And Cotton had many books regarding witches being in a satanic conspiracy, and one of the reasons he was so vocal in Salem was because he had actually come across an incident that would be similar to what we're going to talk about a few years prior that I guess solidified for him that witchcraft was a real active threat. So what he experienced in 1688 following an argument with... Okay, hold on. I gotta preface this a little bit better. Okay, so this is what he experienced in the year 1688. After an argument with Goody Glover, 13-year-old Martha Goodwin began exhibiting bizarre behavior. Days later, her younger brother and 2 sisters exhibit the same similar odd behavior. Glover is arrested and tried for bewitching the Goodwin children, and Reverend Cotton Mather meets twice with Goody Glover following her arrest in an attempt to persuade her to repent from witchcraft. Eventually, Goody Glover is hanged, and Martha Goodwin still exhibits the strange behavior. So there wasn't really a finality closure to that case, but that, I guess, solidified for him that, like, yes, witches are real, and yes, they are a threat to us.
Even though it didn't stop the strange occurrences?
Yeah.
Behavior? Okay.
Interesting.
Very interesting.
So, although the idea of witches needing to be killed originated from the Bible's words, it was these other factors that further pushed the narrative, or what the Puritans took as fact. You cannot suffer a witch to live.
Nope.
Don't let them.
Salem wasn't the first, nor was it the last place to see witch hunts and witch trials. In 1647, Margaret Jones, a midwife in Charleston, Massachusetts, became the first woman executed for witchcraft in the colony. Connecticut saw its own trials. Elsa. A-L-S-E. Let me know how you would pronounce that. Miss Young was hanged in Hartford that same year, the first documented witch execution in the New World. We talked about the Winnsboro witch trials, which were very heinous and were not uncommon within the States. And across Europe, we also saw a height of the witch trials, which had raged on for centuries between the 1500s and the 1700s. Historians estimate that somewhere between 40,000 and 60,000 people were executed for witchcraft, the majority of them being women.
Mm-hmm.
Salem happens to be one of the most well-known witch trials, yes, because of the brutality, but also because of the sheer disrespect for the law and the humanity. It is a large-scale case of a corrupt justice system and a direct example of legal malpractice, injustice, and a lack of humanity.
Yeah, that is correct. Okay, where it all started for the Salem witch trials. We're getting into it.
Mm-hmm.
Head first. Toes and head first. Pike jumping into it, okay?
Pike dived right in.
So, everything that happened in the Salem witch trials from this point on, everything started in Salem Village. So, in early 1692, the village was the perfect breeding ground for hysteria and panic. Along with the already hard living conditions, there was a lot of envy from some villagers to their wealthier neighbors. Families would often fight over property lines and claims over inheritance. Small quarrels and bitter feuds were both fairly common. The church was split as well. Enter in one of our first significant characters in this case, Reverend Samuel Parris. He was the minister of Salem Village, and he was deeply unpopular. Because some people really supported him and some people really didn't like him. The village was fractured because of this. Politically, Massachusetts was also on the rocks. It had lost its royal charter in 1684, and this left the colony in uncertain territory when it came to legal authority. So in layman's terms, this means that for a time, Massachusetts was completely under the legal rule of the crown until 1691, which basically meant that they had no authority
For
themselves or to legally practice based on their rules and their laws. The building fear and resentment was continuous, and it was only a matter of time before a tiny spark would ignite something much, much bigger. Okay, that spark, the start of it all, began in Reverend Parris's own home.
Oh, shit.
In January 1692, his 9-year-old daughter Elizabeth, or Betty they called her, and his 11-year-old niece Abigail Williams began to have strange fits. They screamed and barked, contorted their bodies, spoke in unintelligible language, and claimed to see visions of spirits. And they also complained of mysterious pains all over their bodies. A local doctor, who was believed to be William Greggs at that time because he was the local physician, had examined the girls extensively and was unable to explain their symptoms with a rational, reasonable cause.
Yeah, this does not sound like food poisoning or anything like that.
But this, of course, led him to the conclusion that the girls had been bewitched. Yes, this was the work of witchcraft.
What else would it be, Sarah?
What else could
it's not like we're not like it's 19. Actually, it's not 19.
It's not 19.
It's 1692. We have no vaccinations, no medicine, no nothing. Also, I wonder what it could be.
People were eating moldy bread and stuff.
People were eating all
dirt. Like, who knows?
All the dirtiest of stuff.
So the two young girls claimed that Tituba was responsible for this. She had done this to them. Now, Tituba was the enslaved servant of Reverend Parris, and her origins are a little bit ambiguous. Some documents describe her as an Indian, quote, which I guess would suggest that she is indigenous, while others have also described her as a black woman coming from the Caribbean. A possible explanation for this is because her husband was named John Indian at that time. I'm not sure why. Perhaps he himself was actually indigenous, but some believe that this is why she's referred to as woman, Indian in all of the documents. That's how they described her.
Okay.
But she is a key person.
Her name sounds so familiar.
In all of, like, in the whole thing, basically. Now, just because she was accused doesn't necessarily mean that they would believe it right off the bat. So at least they had some semblance of skepticism when it came to witchcraft.
Just a hint, though, girl.
Just a hint.
Not all of it.
It only lasted 5 seconds.
A split second, and it was gone.
They wanted proof, and proof they would find. A neighbor of the Parris family, Mrs. Mary Sibley, allegedly told Tituba and her husband, she either told them or helped them, to make a, quote, witch cake.
What?
What the fuck is a witch cake, you may be asking?
Very much.
A witch cake was, again, at this time and in this place. That's all the reference that I have. A witch cake was considered to be an act of magic that was allowed because it was used to detect witchcraft or banish it. The premise of this is that if you take the urine, the piss,
ew,
of the aforementioned afflicted individual, then mix it with rye meal to create a cake. You then feed that cake to a nearby dog, and if the dog begins to act strange, then boom, witchcraft.
No, I think it's the urine. I think it's the
What do you
urine.
mean?
Oh my gosh, what?
You mean it's not witchcraft?
Oh, I think it's the pea.
You mean if you feed your dog pea
Cake?
cake? That's not witchcraft. Also, very, 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 very interesting that these people being the Puritans, are so against witchcraft, but they're allowed to do some witchcraft.
Whoa.
Themselves.
Little hints. Not all. Just a little hint.
Just a little bit.
But we can't cross that line, girl.
No.
Because then Satan's
Because then
coming for you.
he's knocking on your door.
But
you can make the pea cake
to out him.
To out him, but you can't do anything else. God forbid.
Also, you have to get the pea of who you think is the witch.
The pea of who the witch has bewitched.
Oh, so the victim.
The victim of the witch. You get their pea, and then you make the cake with rye meal, specifically.
Okay.
I don't know what rye...
It's a type of flour.
Yeah, but I don't know what it has to do. Like, is it magical? I don't know.
Apparently. In 1692, I guess it was magical.
I guess it was magical. And then you feed it to a dog.
That poor dog.
The poor dog.
We don't stand for animal testing, guys. We don't like that.
We don't like that at any point in history.
No.
No animal testing, please. So the thought behind this is that if the afflicted person really is under the influence of witchcraft, then surely it would extend to their urinary expression. And so, if when given to the dog starts acting weird, that means that witchcraft is present. So in this case, there isn't any documentation if the dog did end up acting strangely or not.
But they did make the cake.
But that didn't matter because Reverend Paris was ready to frickin' go. Now, around the same time, some other girls in Salem Village began exhibiting the same weird behaviors.
Heaven forbid it's like lead poisoning or something in your water.
12-year-old Ann Putnam Jr. and 17-year-old Elizabeth Hubbard reported being attacked by invisible forces and spirit apparitions. All of these girls, Betty, Abigail, Anne, and Elizabeth, they all named Tituba, Sarah Good, and Sarah Osborne as the perpetrators. So these are our first three. They're involved in the initial spark of what would become the trials. So Tituba was the first to be accused. She was also the first to confess. But she wasn't alone. She wasn't alone in the accusations. Sarah Good and Sarah Osborne were also named as witches. Sarah Good was a poor woman who came from a wealthy family. She had married twice and was known as being unhappy and a beggar, who would often mumble angrily under her breath. She was around 38 years old. I see myself in her.
Sounds very familiar to me.
Sarah Osborne was a higher social status woman, though she was looked at strangely because she wanted to take over ownership of her husband's estate. She was around 49, and it's kind of important to note that she did have previous conflicts with the Putnam family, and Ann Putnam was one of the accusers, so take that for what it is. I also want to note, this is like a side note for us, every single person in this trial is named Sarah. Like, actually, every other name is Sarah. It's either Sarah or Mary.
That's freaky. Good thing it's not Mackenzie.
Good thing it's not Mackenzie. There's not even one Mackenzie in any of the names.
They didn't get her.
So, the three women were taken to the Salem Village meeting house, and they were all extensively interrogated and examined by magistrates John Hawthorne and Jonathan Corwin. The frickin' Johns. Get these Johns out of here.
And I can assume that interrogated.
Yeah.
They were tortured.
They were, like...
I don't think they were just sat across the table and been like, so...
They were berated, for sure. It wasn't just simple questions. No, it wasn't. It was a lot. I will tell you more.
Oh, please do.
But John Hawthorne and Jonathan Corwin are our other key male members of this case. Basically, what they were doing was explaining what the examination is, because what does that even mean?
Yeah,
Examining
they just did
them
a physical to
for
make
what?
sure they were in tip-top health.
What are they looking for? What are they doing?
Why?
So basically, they were looking for a devil's mark or a witch's mark, and this was usually seen as a birthmark, a scar, a mole, or any kind of skin blemish. Listen, I got pimples.
I got pimples. I got moles. I
I got
freckles.
a birthmark. I have a birthmark.
That's cute.
Do you like it?
I do. Witch?
Witch!
Of course, Sarah's a witch. History repeats itself, guys.
Okay, this is a little bit folklore-ish, but they would also search for a witch's teat. Yeah, teat. I said it. Which was a mysteriously placed third nipple that was thought to be there where a witch's familiar would feed from. Yeah.
What's a familiar? Can you tell?
Yes, I can tell you. So a familiar, if for those of us that don't know, I didn't mean it like that, but
she means me. That's me, guys.
A familiar is basically like I know that this term is but this is the only way I can like explain it, but like a spirit animal for witches specifically.
Okay.
So it's like if a lot of people believe that a witch's familiar is a black cat, but it could be anything. Like your witchy aunt has the snake.
Yeah.
That could be her familiar, but they kind of what it's supposed to be in like I guess the religious thought bubble of what a familiar is. It's like an animal that does the bad will of the witch on her behalf.
Oh, okay.
But it's basically just like your animal that you're like connected with.
Gotcha. So they feed them.
So they feed them from their third nipple, apparently.
Harry Styles.
He has 4. He's got 2 familiars.
He's a double witch. Guys, you heard it here first.
Harry, we're coming after you.
Witch.
In terms of the interrogations, they would, I imagine, quite harshly and repetitively ask them why they were hurting the girls, what kind of connections they had to the devil or to evil spirits, and who are they working for. Now, I did myself read, they have all of the documents from the Salem Witch Trials on, it's one of the United States University pages, whatever.
Oh, there's like 52 of those.
Yeah, there's a lot. More than 52.
I know, I was making a joke about the states. How there's at least one for every state.
Yeah, you're right.
You can edit that out. That was a bad joke. It's okay.
It's okay.
Maybe our American followers will like
we'll get it.
Maybe not. Probably will offend them. I'm sorry.
So they have all of the they transcribed all of the documents from that time, which is really cool. But they also did like
hate your house.
It's the knock.
It's the freaking corner knock. Every recording says, "Yay! They're with us." Woo!
Great. They also have the documents from the interrogations that they were doing. So they actually have written down the magistrates asking them questions and what the responses were from the accused people. So it's really
are there digital copies?
Yeah.
Online?
Yeah.
That's cool. That's awesome, actually.
So
I mean, bad for their families to have to but I think it's good
from a historic point of view. I think it's good to see it's important to see literally what was happening. It was actually recorded because they didn't have cameras. Pixar, it didn't happen. They couldn't do that.
Exactly. And even word from word, telling generations and generations, it's just a big game of telephone. It's gonna get twisted. Yeah. This is concrete proof of what actually happened.
This is the receipts, basically.
Yeah.
So Sarah Good and Sarah Osborne maintained their innocence throughout the whole thing. They're not witches and they will not confess to be. At this time, what I'm about to say, it was something that Tituba revealed later. I'm not sure if it was after the trials had happened or just later on in history. Could have been a couple days after, whatever. She said that Reverend Paris had beat her extensively for weeks until she confessed to the accusation of witchcraft. She was his slave and servant, so he was doing, I can do whatever I want because...
Yeah, he would have done pretty much.
She admitted to a number of things. She admitted to being a witch, to signing her name in the devil's book with her own blood, to flying on sticks, attending witch meetings, and inflicting the girls with spells, as well as witnessing other witches turning into various animals. And most shockingly of all, she confessed that there were other witches in the village. And yes, the other two women were also witches.
I can understand why, like, she probably confessed, air quotes, and admitted to it to, like, make it stop.
Yeah.
But
I really do wonder, like, throughout writing all of this and reading everything I was reading, if these people those of them that confessed really believed that confessing would make it stop. Unfortunately, that was not the case.
not at all.
But what are you going to do? Either they're going to continue to beat you, or you tell them what they want and it stops. Like, there's no winning in any scenario.
It's a lose-lose situation.
Yeah. This Tituba's confession was the fuel needed to ignite the start of the entire mess. This was proof the devil had infiltrated the village, and for a community that was already on edge, this just about pushed them over. People were terrified, and I mean understandably so. They were witnessing these young girls practically being tormented by seemingly an invisible, violent force. One's obvious conclusion would be, of course, this is the work of the devil and or a witch. Nothing else. Nothing else.
Not sepsis. Not an infection.
Not eating moldy bread.
No.
Not actually just going crazy.
No. Witchcraft. I hope you guys like our music. So we can let us know if you want more.
Yeah, we'll drop the beats. We'll make some recordings.
Sarah, you also have to edit those too.
Oh, yeah. Never mind, no, we won't.
You only get
I take it back.
our rough songs. The raw audio.
Raw audio.
Make some songs with it as you will.
As we said, Betty and Abigail were the starting point, but it didn't end with them.
How many girls were like...
I'll tell you right now.
Perfect.
Same page, don't even worry.
How did I know she was gonna know what I was asking?
At the center of it all, the main accusers were a group of girls ranging from ages 9 years old to 20. They would come to be known as the Afflicted Girls.
They sound like the bullshit girls.
That goes hard. The Afflicted Girls.
What a name.
New band name.
T-shirts. Sweaters.
T-shirts. Great.
Merch. What a name.
So Betty was the youngest. She was involved in the first accusations, but it was said that she was later sent away to live with family far removed from all of the happenings in Salem. She was the Reverend's daughter.
Mm-hmm.
Abigail, however, became very instrumental in the coming accusations.
The other daughter.
She was the niece.
The niece.
Niece of Reverend Paris, Abigail Williams. So along with Abigail, the rest of the girls, Ann Putnam Jr., Elizabeth Hubbard, Mercy Lewis, and Mary Walcott, were all the most outspoken and evidently afflicted parties in the cases. Abigail and Anne were the most influential of the bunch. Abigail would come to accuse 57 people, and Anne would accuse up to 60 people.
Holy shit.
These young girls would become the beacon of the witch trials, the sounding alarm, the heart of these cases. We will talk about this a little more in detail in the next episode, but these accusations were not only coming from the local innocent people, but actually from some of the accused themselves, in an effort to absolve themselves of guilt and punishment. Did not work out the way
they wanted
it to, but nonetheless.
A for effort.
Okay, now we're getting into the accused. This is pretty much a timeline of events that I've put together to the best of my ability to give as much info and context as I can. Follow along if you can. I hope this doesn't get too confusing, but it is a lot of information.
You can pause, guys. Don't worry.
You can pause. You can take a break.
Take a sip.
I'll take a sip. We'll both take a sip. Oh!
Sip, sip.
What are you sipping on today?
Sarah, I'm sipping on a double-double. What you sipping on,
I'm
girlfriend?
sipping on a iced cap. Both of these are from Tim Hortons. Guys, we're Canadian. Again, we're Canadian.
Classic. If we don't have a Timmy's in the hand, we have a bottle of maple syrup. Just kidding. We don't.
And then we ride our polar bears to work and then back home to our igloos.
Exactly. Have you seen my igloo lately, girl?
Is it melting because it's like 25 degrees outside?
Yeah.
25 Celsius.
Yeah.
Please.
People say Fahrenheit and I'm like, I have no idea.
I have no clue.
I don't know. You're speaking a different language.
That's crazy. Anyways, what are you guys sipping on? We should be sipping on tea for this episode, but listen.
It's okay. We're a little out of it.
We're frauds.
Whoa!
Spoiler alert.
Coffee just didn't have the same ring. Coffee, Tales, and Talks? Come on, guys.
No.
It doesn't work.
It doesn't work.
We're
And
also big tea people. We're just having...
To be fair, I don't drink coffee.
No, you don't.
Really, so...
I do, but I used to be a big tea drinker.
We love tea. And everybody drinks tea. Unless you don't, but most people drink tea.
A lot of people drink tea.
Yeah. Woo! Okay.
And pause.
And pause. So, the accused. Tituba, Sarah Good, and Sarah Osborne have been accused.
Mm-hmm.
While this is progressing, young Betty, Abigail, and Elizabeth seem to recover from whatever witchcraft-induced ailments they had.
Hallelujah!
Hallelujah!
Woo! Jesus has saved their souls.
However,
Uh-oh.
Ann Putnam Jr. is still being actively tormented by something. Something individual. Something invisible. Something witchy.
Mm-hmm.
She claims to be attacked constantly by spectral visitors and apparitions of the ones who are tormenting her.
Mm.
She names Martha Corey, Elizabeth Proctor, and Dorothy Good, who is the 4-year-old daughter of Sarah Good.
Not this girl outing a 4-year-old and saying she's a witch.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh my god.
I read that one of the likely reasons for Martha Corey and Elizabeth Proctor for being named as witches was because of how they were outspoken about the witch hunts that were happening.
Oh, and how unjust they were?
So they were not for them, basically. Though it's not clear why in the world they would accuse a 4-year-old little baby child. But this is the point in the timeline where things take a big fat fucking turn for the worst.
Oh, good.
Well, kind of. That was very dramatic. It's one of a couple big turns, but it's the first.
It's this freaking spiral.
Yeah.
Freaking like, whoa. I wish you guys could
spiraling.
like see that, what I'm doing. But like, I was gonna say Ouroboros, or you know, that's the snake that eats its own tail.
Uh-huh.
It's kind of like that, but then it just keeps freaking
It just
going.
keeps going. I'm thinking of spiraling down through the 7 rings of hell by Dante.
Dante's Inferno.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. It's just
100%.
like every turn is just a different level going down.
It honestly is all the different immoral things that are happening.
It's just
Going all the way down.
so. This is number 1, the first big fat turn. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Ann Putnam Jr., who is a big influential part of the situation, like I said many times. I have to reiterate. Anne claims to begin seeing a ghostly figure of an old woman sitting on a chair in her room. Anne names the Salem Village resident, little old woman Rebecca Nurse. It's said that either her mother or her servant, Mercy Lewis, were behind the strongly guided suggestion that it was Rebecca Nurse. Well, suddenly, Mercy Lewis, the Putnam servant, falls ill. Can you believe it?
No.
She is now being afflicted with the very same torment as Anne Jr.
Crazy.
The thrashing around, speaking strangely, seeing ghosts or spectral visitors.
It's the water.
Even Anne's mother, Anne Putnam Sr., claims that she is also being tormented by spectral visitors. While this is happening, Martha Corey, Rebecca Nurse, and little Dorcas Good, Dorothy, they called her Dorcas. That's like, it makes my heart hurt. It's so cute. Dorcas. I'm gonna cry.
My heart.
They're all being examined and interrogated. I'm actually crying a little bit.
No,
Dorcas. Tearing up at Dorcas. Oh.
Little 4-year-old Dorcas?
Oh my god. I found it interesting and strange that for most of, if not all, the examinations, they had the, quote, afflicted people also present. And for some of them, like in the case of Rebecca Nurse and Martha Corey, they maintained that they were innocent and haven't done anything, but the magistrates considered them guilty simply on the basis of the afflicted people acting afflicted. So it wasn't that they confessed. It wasn't that they found a devil/witch's mark. It was literally just because the accusers were like, I'm sick. Like, there was no...
That's crazy.
Yeah. It was...
You're guilty because somebody just said you were.
Yeah. Not even
That's
like...
enough.
Not even like...
Proof.
Your word against theirs. It's just their
You're
word.
guilty.
You're guilty. At this point, Ann Putnam Jr. is joined by Mercy Lewis, Mary Walcott, and Mary Warren, who all go on to accuse many people. Abigail Williams also pops back up, and she too accuses Rebecca Nurse. All of the afflicted girls claim that 71-year-old grandmother, Rebecca Nurse, tormented them as a spectral visitor. And during the examination, they had apparently found a mark on her. It was a birthmark. And also, that's documented, that it's a birthmark. That confirmed, basically, she had the devil's mark. And then she was sent to Salem jail.
Oh my gosh.
Rebecca Nurse's sister, Sarah Cloyce, was soon arrested as well under the suspicion of witchcraft simply for defending her sister.
Guys, this is why we said it was one of the most unjust trials ever. Screw humanity. Screw any human rights out the window.
Yeah. So it's not even like somebody accused you. It's literally that you're like,
my sister's not a witch.
My sister's not a witch. You're also one.
You witch.
You're a witch. Oh, little Dorcas Good was accused, and this was what all three girls had claimed that this 4-year-old little angel baby had done to them. They said that Dorothy had appeared to them and would pinch, bite, and choke them. They all said that she wanted them to sign her book. It's assumed that this is like signing their souls or their life away in the devil's book. How they could accuse this baby girl is beyond me.
I want to take a moment and let's think about a 4-year-old actually choking somebody and their grip strength. I don't think they could do much to you.
I think you would be fine.
Like, they're like 12 or 13 at this point, are they not? Like,
yeah.
Some of them
are like, one of them, Elizabeth Hubbard, is 17.
So, like, I think you're okay, girl.
Yeah,
that's ridiculous.
It is interesting. It's also, I got this information from reading the documents, and all three of those afflicted girls said exactly the same thing. That she was pinching, biting, and choking, and that she wanted them to sign her book. Like, okay.
Little Dorcas. I can't believe they called her Dorcas.
I know, it's kind of cute.
I don't know how they got Dorothy, like...
Dorcas from Dorothy.
Yeah.
I know.
Is it like Hocus Pocus?
I don't know.
I don't get it.
I don't get it either. One of the, like, main... How do I say this? Like, one of the main accusations or, like, the claims... The proof...
Claim to fame?
I guess, that the afflicted girls would say is that they were experiencing spectral visitors. And it doesn't explain what that means, but, like, I'm assuming that it means, like, a ghost of somebody that is alive.
Yeah.
Basically. So they're claiming that this 4-year-old is appearing to them as a ghost and choking them.
Obviously.
I don't know.
Also, is that really terrifying? Like, if it's a 4-year-old? If it was like an average adult, I would be scared.
I would be
Trust
scared.
me. But a little 4-year-old, they're probably, like, the bite isn't even a bite.
Yeah. Oh, it was the bite thing that I wanted to say. You just jogged my memory.
I love that.
Love it. I read in one of the things that they did say they showed one of the girls had, like, a bite mark, like a small bite mark. But I don't know, like, how did you get that? Did one of the other girls bite you?
Probably.
Like, that's what I'm...
Literally, probably.
Was it really this 4-year-old? And also the coincidence that her mother is one of the first to be accused. It's crazy.
It's Hanky.
Hanky. Ann Putnam claimed that Martha Corey had visited her in animal form as a yellow bird.
Oh, terrifying.
Thought to be Martha's familiar. And sucked on her hand and caused her intense pain. I don't know what that means. I don't know for why they would do that.
I don't think birds can suck on things, but I'm not an avid aviarist.
I don't know much about
I don't even think that's the word. Like, I don't think that's the right term. But no expert.
we're not bird watchers.
No.
You guys tell us. Anne's mother also corroborated her story
Of course she did.
of seeing this spectral visitor of Martha Corey. Yeah. Then Mercy Lewis comes in. Remember, she's the Putnam servant. Mm-hmm. She claims to have seen, during which part I'm not sure when this took place, she saw a man whispering in Martha Corey's ear, which made her believe that she was involved in witchcraft. Again.
Wait, can I read that again? She saw somebody whispering in her ear?
Yeah.
So she was involved in
So
witchcraft.
she's a witch.
Okay. Sure.
I guess.
What?
Like, I guess. Okay, probably the important information missing from this is when this took place. Because also, it didn't say, like, who the man was. Like, did she think the man was the devil? Like, it didn't...
Yeah, like, what?
It didn't say if it happened during the examination, if it happened, like, right before she got arrested, if it happened... It didn't say at what point it happened. So,
Interesting.
I guess, don't whisper to people.
No more whispering.
No more whispering.
Or you're a witch.
Okay, here's a note that I wrote.
Mm-hmm.
Her husband, Giles or Giles, I think it's Giles. Okay, hold on. Her husband, Giles Corey, who will come up in a second, may have inadvertently implicated her by telling the magistrates that she reads strange books.
She just reads smut. And she's a smut reader? They're like, she a witch, she a witch.
I did read in one of the things that he said she reads strange books and that those books make it hard for him to, like, read the Bible or hard to pray or something like that.
Smut.
It could, yeah. He's just excited.
He can't think about the Bible because his head's too busy thinking about other shit. Oh, okay. Giles, you fucking sly animal. Yeah, blame your wife's books. Mm-hmm.
So this marks another turning point for the story because
spiral.
Martha Corey was a highly respected member of the church. Oh. She was not expected to be a potential witch. This now meant that anybody could be a witch.
And they've infiltrated the church.
They're going to tell the church.
They're going to tell the church.
So now they're like, oh, anybody can be a witch. Could be you, could be my mother, could be my 2-year-old child, apparently.
Oh my gosh.
Dog. Who knows? Anybody. Everybody's on the table at this point.
Everybody's open to be a witch.
Shortly after this, Abigail Williams is back and better than ever, apparently. On her accusation spree, she now names Elizabeth Proctor as being another one that is tormenting her. Mm-hmm. Elizabeth Proctor and Sarah Cloyce are examined at the same time. Elizabeth Proctor's husband, John Proctor, is vocal about his skepticism of the afflicted girls, and he protests his wife's arrest.
Yay!
It's important to note that Mary Warren is one of the afflicted girls, and she's his servant, so he makes a note to, like, keep an eye on her.
Yeah.
She will also come into play later a little bit. He will also come into play later a little bit. At this point, the afflicted girls claim that both Elizabeth and Sarah Cloyce were tormenting them, as well as Elizabeth's husband, John Proctor. This led to the arrest of John Proctor and Elizabeth Proctor and Sarah Cloyce. At this point, the afflicted girls had proclaimed, basically, that it was Elizabeth Proctor and Sarah Cloyce who were the ones for sure tormenting them. Mm-hmm. But then they also said, plot twist, John Proctor is also tormenting us.
Oh my god, he's a witch.
He's a witch too. So they arrest John Proctor. At the same time, Elizabeth Proctor, his wife, and Sarah Cloyce, who is the sister of Rebecca Nurse, they both are set to go to trial.
Why do I feel like it's family against families?
Everybody's connected. It's very strange.
Like,
and
the two
crazy.
sides are all connected.
Yeah. Now,
Oh my gosh.
Ann Putnam Jr. names Giles Corey. He is Martha Corey's husband. Anne names him as a witch and claims that a man who had died in the Corey household was haunting her. Who is this man? We don't know. It's just some ghost of a man.
I relate to that.
Now the afflicted girls name 4 more people.
Oh my gosh, guys.
They name Abigail Hobbs, Bridget Bishop, Deliverance Hobbs, and Mary Easty. Abigail Hobbs is 17. She was accused by Ann Putnam Jr., Mercy Lewis, Mary Walcott, and Elizabeth Hubbard. It was said that Abigail had been telling everyone for about a year prior to this that she sold herself to the devil. Why would she do that?
Why would she go out and advertise that?
I don't know. She's like, y'all, guess what I did?
What'd you guys do this weekend? I sold myself to the devil. What? Okay, sure.
She was said to often mock baptisms in the church and publicly talk back to her stepmother. Abigail Hobbs confessed to being a witch, and she soon implicated and accused her own mother, Deliverance Hobbs. Oh, and Deliverance Hobbs denied it, saying that she knew nothing of witchcraft. Mm-hmm. Which, true, as you should. Like, fair. Mary Easty, she was around 58 at this time. She was first accused only by Mary Lewis, who claimed she was a witch and that she had appeared to her in her room and laid a hand on her breast.
She touched her titty and she freaked out. Okay.
The other afflicted girls quickly backed Mercy's claim. Mary Easty is also another sister of Rebecca Nurse, and she also defended her against the accusations. Everybody's related in this town.
Oh, yeah, you only got 1,200 people. You're all cousins of cousins.
Everybody's a cousin. Then we have Bridget Bishop. She was around 60 years old. She's another key figure in the trials. She was accused by Ann Putnam Jr., Mercy Lewis, Mary Walcott, Elizabeth Hubbard, and Abigail Williams. So basically all of the afflicted girls accused Bridget Bishop. It wasn't just the afflicted girls who accused her, though. It was also these 2 blokes named Ezekiel Cheevers and John Putnam.
Mr. John Putnam back in action again.
The Putnams are awake and working
during the pot
in this village. The Putnams are like,
they're pretty much like, I feel like everybody who's against them or does something wrong to them, they're like, they're a witch, go after them. Yeah. And then everybody just hops on that bandwagon.
Yes.
And then takes them to trial.
So I think it's fair to say that the Putnam family had a pretty big influence just in of themselves. Mm-hmm. I didn't do much digging into the Putnams because I don't care about them. No offense, you guys, but I don't know if they had like association with the church or association with trading or like why they were so influential, if they were a wealthy family, I don't know, but it seems like everybody in the town, Salem town and Salem village, knows the Putnams, and the Putnams are in everybody's ear.
And business.
Yeah. So, the afflicted girls claimed that Bridget Bishop's apparition pinched, choked, and bit them.
That sounds so familiar.
How
Sarah.
familiar.
Deja vu?
Deja vu. She was accused of bewitching pigs and possessing poppets to use them to do her will. I don't know what a poppet is.
I feel like it's like a doll.
Is it like a... No, yeah? No, not puppet.
Poppet.
Isn't it like a weasel or something? Oh. To be honest, I don't know.
An endearing or sweet, pretty child or young girl. Or historically a small figure of human being used in sorcery and witchcraft.
Oh, a small... Oh, maybe you're right. It is a doll.
It's a voodoo doll.
Okay. Not me thinking about a weasel.
It's
crazy. Oh, a voodoo doll. Then
a puppet, a cursed puppet.
Oh, that's even crazier than like a mongoose or something.
She says, yeah, like a spooky needle doll is crazy. I thought it was a little weasel.
I thought it was.
No, they're voodoo dolls.
Okay, so she was accused of using like little voodoo dolls, basically. Obviously not voodoo. Because that's not what they were doing, but...
Poppet.
A little poppet. And she was bewitching pigs.
And pigs. Pigs and poppets. Okay.
Pigs and poppets. Those are the signs of witchcraft. Then a number of the afflicted girls accused former minister George Burroughs. He was a minister that moved away from Salem amidst some financial disputes, and a complaint was lodged against Thomas Putnam and Jonathan Walcott, accusing Burroughs of sundry acts of witchcraft. I don't know what sundry means. Do you?
No, but I can Google it.
Oh my god, there's a lot of words that we don't know.
Guys are freaking using big words.
Big words.
Search. Of various kinds. Several.
Okay. Several acts of witchcraft. Cool.
I actually just needed a thesaurus, I guess.
Great. So this led to his arrest in Maine. So he traveled all the way to Maine, and then he was forced to come back to Salem. Mercy Lewis, she claimed that George Burroughs had carried... Okay, this is very weird. She claimed that George Burroughs had carried her up a high mountain and tried to coerce her into signing his devil book. And Putnam claimed that he had appeared to her as a spectral visitor, and other witnesses had claimed to have seen him at witch gatherings, or Salem Sabbaths, they called them, and said that he was Satan's personal representative.
Oh, what an honor.
Hello, you've reached Satan. This is his representative, George Burroughs.
How may I assist you? Press 1 for...
Yeah, anyways, so he may not be Satan's representative, but he could have been a freak, because the girls also claimed to have been visited by his ex-wives, the ghosts of his ex-wives, and he's had a lot of ex-wives.
Oh, shit.
After him, George Jacobs was accused. George Jacobs, his granddaughter Margaret, and their servant, Sarah Churchill, were all on the accusatory chopping block. And it started with Sarah, as all good things do. She had apparently become one of the afflicted girls, but then because her symptoms were lessening, the other girls accused her of being a witch. She confessed to signing the devil's book under coercion, and she named George Jacobs, her, employer, and his granddaughter Margaret. Margaret then confessed and implicated her own grandfather.
Guys, we gotta stop confessing to things that we don't do.
Let's just, everybody, zip it.
Just keep your mouth shut.
Just everybody shut up.
Call your lawyer. Keep your mouth shut.
Okay, this was a lot of people being blamed, incriminated, and inevitably punished for the practice of witchcraft. And now it's your turn. You, the listener. Okay, walk with me here. This is gonna be weird.
I'm walking, girl. I'm walking.
This part's weird. I hope it is okay. It translates well. Okay, whoosh, we're creating a scene here. Blowing wind. Okay. You... Oh my god. Okay, there's a hurricane coming.
I'm a voice actor, guys.
Thanks.
Let me know when you want me.
Okay, picture this. You're a 27-year-old woman in Salem, Massachusetts in 1692. It's a crisp fall day, and you're walking along the dirt path behind your small wooden home. The wind is cool, but the sun is warming. You gently pick herbs along the path to add to your basket. When you aren't doing your basic chores around the house, or helping your mother with cooking, or reading the Bible in your spare time, you like to help the town's midwife. Although your mother hates your local volunteering, she would much rather you spend your time in the church or at home or looking for a husband. You enjoy being helpful. Heading on in the direction of your clapboard house, you sense a shift in the air. You pass 2 young girls walking on the path as well. You smile warmly, but they only nod and hurry past you, whispering to each other as you walk by, something about the cows down the road acting strangely. Odd, you think. It's nearing dinner time now, and you were always tasked with helping your mother make the cornmeal porridge. You walk inside through the creaky back door and place your basket of herbs on a chair beside the fireplace of the kitchen. Unwrapping your wool shawl from your shoulders, you step through the open dining room to the living room. You halt in place when you see your mother and father and young siblings standing at the front door with 2 constables, one of which has a letter in his hand. The constables grab each of your arms. What's going on, you ask? Your family looks at you like deer in headlights, your mother clutching her Bible tightly. The main constable speaks, his voice booming through the house. Insert your name. By order of the magistrate of Salem, and upon suspicion of witchcraft, I place you under arrest. You are to be brought before the court for examination immediately. And just like that, you're pulled away from your home, from your family. Your neighbors and other town officials line the front yard of your house. You're taken to a meeting house and extensively examined both physically and mentally in front of high-power men. In a blink of an eye, everything you once were familiar with comes crashing down. They belittle you, they poke you, and prod your skin, scanning every inch of you for what they call the devil's mark. If you have a birthmark, you're guilty. If you have an oddly placed freckle, you're guilty. They ask you, not ask, but demand of you, what evil spirit have you familiarity with?
None.
Have you made no contract with the devil?
No.
Why do you hurt these children?
I don't hurt them.
Who do you employ then to do it?
I employ nobody.
What creature do you employ then?
No creature, but I am falsely accused.
Have you made no contract with the devil?
No.
The witnesses, the afflicted, were brought before you. Was this the woman who caused you harm? Yes, they say. Do you not see now what you have done? Why do you not tell us the truth? Why do you thus torment these poor children?
I do not torment them.
Who do you employ then?
I employ nobody. I scorn it.
Who do you serve?
I serve God.
What God do you serve?
The God that made heaven and earth.
And after all of that, their conclusion, though she was not willing to mention the word God, her answers were in a very wicked, spiteful manner, reflecting and retorting against the authority with base and abusive words and many lies she was taking in. It was here said that her family had said they were afraid that she either was a witch or would be one very quickly. She is an enemy to all. And just like that, your fate is sealed. Okay, so I changed a couple of the words, like from husband to family, and took away some of the names, but that was a real excerpt from one of the investigations on Sarah Good.
Wow.
This was basically what was documented during her interrogation process.
They're like, she's guilty.
Isn't that crazy? And again, in front of the accusers,
Yeah.
like the afflicted people. Oh my gosh. Okay. Hopefully that sets the scene and the overall emotional weight of what these cases mean, not just to the community, but to each individual involved, especially those that were accused. The gravity of misconduct, injustice, and the overall disregard of human beings in these cases is one of the largest examples of a failed justice system and of failed human compassion.
Period.
On a very serious level, the reason that the Salem Witch Trials are so sensational and well known is because of the miscarriage of justice on behalf of the victims. And this is why we're talking about it. My final thought for this episode is that the justice system is and always has been corrupt, and we need a little more kindness, understanding, and love in this world.
Girl, I freaking agree.
Or what are your final thoughts?
Girl, I think you said that perfectly with what's going on. I think this world is very easy to snap judgment upon others without knowing their full situation and only taking them at like one smidge of what they actually are.
Yeah.
And then letting that like take over and spiral. And you can see in this case and in history how somebody's comment or opinion can really start a war and like create chaos.
Yeah.
And like without any proof to back it up.
Yes, exactly. Everything's based on hearsay.
Yeah.
Great. So this episode, we just covered everything that leads up to the point right before the trials begin. Mm-hmm. So in the next episode, we will be diving straight into the actual trials.
So stick around for our second episode of the Salem Witch Trials series.
Yeah! And our twitchy witchy friends, stay spooky.
And don't let your tea get cold.
Have you ever seen a shadow linger in the corner of your eye, seen a flashing light dart across the sky? Have you ever wished upon a candle to make your wish come true? I'm sure you've told a haunted tale or two. Are you interested in learning the pagan ways? Witchcraft, grimoires, candles await. Have you ever seen the living dead and stood still instead of fled? Cryptics are fun, but the universe has our eye. The stars align, shows us our signs, and we're here to discuss the divine. Welcome to Moon Brews, a supernatural podcast, hosted by yours truly, Haley.
Are you fascinated by the strange and mysterious in our world? Do you find yourself drawn to odd and unusual events or peculiar historical moments that aren't talked about in the history books?
Do you feel as though you have a connection to forces or specters unseen, or that you're not entirely alone in the woods when you go for a hike? Do you think there could be something more out there?
Well, strangers, do we have the podcast for you? I'm Christiana.
And I'm Bree.
Welcome to Something Strange, a podcast covering strange stories ranging from the supernatural, the paranormal, weird history, folklore, and more.
From cryptids to real-life historical figures, from hauntings to peculiar happenings, there's a story here for you. Tune on in the first and third Fridays of each month for our main episodes. But if you can't get enough, check out our mini episodes on the fourth Fridays of each month.
We're on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, Audible, and YouTube. And for even more strange content, check us out on our socials: Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok.
For now, strangers, it's time for us to part ways.
Remember to tune on in.
We'll be right here with
Something Strange.